Uh-oh. Okay, guys, I can't stay here long. I wanted to come and talk about a couple of different things. First of all, I want to start off by saying that, you know, witches help a lot of people. We do. We help a lot of people. Um, it almost feels sometimes like you're the sacrificial lamb, but not necessarily when it comes to your spirits. Like, for example, if I remove a curse from you, it's not like the curse gets stuck on me. It doesn't. That's not how it works. Um, you know, the stuff that we do does what it's supposed to do, but I think that mainly the primary thing is people and their judgment. Okay, people and their judgment of witches, period. And here on YouTube, I have suffered from judgment that's not even real. And, which is really very unfair. And, I've been there, done that previously, and made out okay. Was given abundant blessings. Um, so and that's something that has not changed, but I think a lot of the times, um, witches can feel abandoned and spiritualists, especially if you're a woman. There is still a great deal of racism and sexism in our world, in particular, sexism more than anything. And it's kind of like people, when they get in their, modes of superstition, for example, um, it's a false, to me, it's a false thing, whenever if you ever have anybody, I had never been through that before, but I went through it for the first time in my entire life several years ago. And all I can tell you is that it's, when there is deception, there is also justice. And so that's one of the reasons why I don't worry about certain things. It may cause some inconvenience sometimes when you're going through certain stuff, but, you know, um, why are you up in my face, cat? What do you want? Goodness gracious. She just want to be all up underneath me. What? What do you want? So, support your witch, you know, support the witches and the spiritualists that supported you. Um, there is no such thing technically as a cursed person. A lot of people, when they go through certain situations, they may feel like, oh God, I've got bad luck and da 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 da. No, you just got bad thoughts. You need to connect, connect, connect. But a lot of people, when folks is going through changes, they will be like, "Ooh, I don't want to mess with that person. They seem like they having some bad luck." But guess what? Guess what? When you was having bad luck and everybody turned their back on you, who stuck by you? It was the witch. So, honestly, this is something that I've had like an understanding with a lot of people that I've worked with, and that doesn't change. But because there, it just it's not about transferring stuff back and forth. Okay, it's not about that. It's not like you're transferring some curse back and forth. A lot of people think that it's like that, but it's really I scratch your back, you scratch mine is what it is. So, you know, it's been a couple of times when, like, for example, when I filed my bankruptcy in 2021, there was people that don't really have an understanding of that was, trying to use the law of attraction in reverse. Bankruptcy is not the end of the world. In fact, bankruptcy is amazing sometimes. It does prevent you from buying a house, which is not good. You have to wait like 2 years before you're able to purchase a home. By law, you have to wait 2 years, but um, yeah, yeah. So, but it people that don't really have an understanding of loyalty, people that don't have an understanding of love and loyalty, and you know, um, understanding that when times are hard, and times are hard whenever you have some kind of spiritual situation happening, and a lot of you guys will fear the worst, and you'll avoid that, the worst possible scenario happening. You'll avoid it, and so it's not like the witch takes on the problem. That energy either gets transmuted, banished, or cleansed. And a lot of people don't understand that. See, you have to be a person that if you're in this spirituality, you have to be a person that understands the elements, right? And when you look at earth, air, fire, and water, fire being the most cleansing thing ever, that's just like when we use candles. The whole point of the fire is it can be either to viscerate something, banish something, kill something, which could be a bad spirit or a situation. And it ain't that you're killing it, it's just that you're neutralizing it. So, that's why I practice the way that I practice. I'm not, thugging it out, gangster. I do things the pagan way. And every pagan doesn't necessarily, work with the elements. I am very elemental. And it just is what it is. But I think the judgment of witches is the hardest thing ever. And so if you are connected to a witch, you have to understand that, because I've seen some people that don't like me go around saying she's cursed, stay away from her. Da, da, da. Like it, like it's a hot potato or something. Like if you touch me, you're gonna get burnt, and that's and so you got to understand that I take on some of the worst cases. I've reversed death and destruction magic off of people, banished very destructive energies, healed people. So, that within itself is not something that is a fear of mine. I think that the main aspect of, being a witch is judgment that you may receive from people, which leads me into the next discussion that I want to talk about, which is advice for those of you that want to come out here and do this. Um, you have to be really, really careful in social media. You have to be really, really careful because, especially if you got somebody that knows you, that may know you outside of it, might know you before you even decided to become a public figure in social media, and they may have a problem with you. They may want to stop you, or they may disagree with your spiritual beliefs. And people that are, under Abrahamic religions, you know what I'm saying? They are very judgmental. They are very entitled sometimes. And the ones that are not like that are good, but the ones that are like that, they don't realize that, when you point the finger and you judge somebody, and they will do anything to you. They will do anything. They feel like they can kick you. They feel like they can talk crazy to you. Especially if you are a woman or if you're black. Now, if you're a man, it seems like people just love flocking around men when it comes to, but as a spiritualist and as a witch, while it can be very hurtful, okay, hold on, y'all. It can be very hurtful, okay, but when you're in social media, you have to have thick skin, and everybody does not have thick skin. Especially those people that are attacking you. They attack you because they fear you. And they shouldn't. They need to fear themselves more than anything, because so if you want to have your own business and not feel as though, hold on a second, y'all. um I know that here on YouTube there are people in the spiritual community, some of the elders and maybe even some of the younger people. Hold on, guys, I'm texting somebody. So that they try to make you feel like, oh, okay, you need to be under my thumb and let me put a noose around your neck, or I'm going to try to make your life a living hell. They want to control you and control your energy. And if they're not able to do that to you, then what they will do is they will smear you. They will try to sabotage you. And sometimes they'll sabotage you anyway. How do you actually, manage that? Well, first of all, really, you're looking at it wrong, and you just got to do your footwork and your groundwork. Especially with some of the struggles that I've had, when everything was breaking out, when it was a breakout on YouTube of crazy pustules and barnacles. YouTube should have been a place where it didn't matter, to be honest with you, even though those people were saying some disgusting crap that's not true. What else do you do than to just say it? You don't have to keep repeating yourself over and over again. Or you don't even have to respond at all, because that's what they're looking for, is a friggin' response. I mean, that's just like if somebody was to walk up to you and go, hey, your eyes are growing, glowing green all over your pupils and yellow, and you know that that's not true, then what's the point in arguing with a crazy person, right? So, um, what I would do is put the focus on your website and have a website and put the focus on that, because you don't need YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, any of that. It's good to have that backing, just in case you may have an emergency or something, or you may be going through a hardship. Then, maybe your following will love you or like you enough to, help you out or whatever. That could be the benefit of that. Maybe it could be some kind of injustice that you're suffering from, which, a lot of people will do that. They will come to social media and say, hey, I've got this going on and pray for me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But for business, because social media, what I found out is that a lot of people that are in social media, they have these emotional problems that they're trying to work out, and even the ones that are making videos and running companies and businesses sometimes. Um, and so to override that, making sure that you have consistent and a lot of traffic to your website would be the key in overriding that, especially if you come to social media and you got a bunch of lipstick lesbiatronic witches that they want to put their hand around your neck and do all kind of freaky stuff to you, and they want to control you. um I think it's very classless and tasteless, and I hate it when I have to address stuff like that, but I address things differently because if you notice, the one thing is that I'm not getting up in people's business. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But it's very strange. They're very bizarre because they want to control you. They do. They want to control you. If you don't want to be associated, they'll stalk you. They're mad and angry because they want to somehow be associated with you. And if you don't allow that association to be a positive one, or if you don't play friends with them and be fake friends with somebody, then they'll harass you. And I just don't understand that. Being an only child, I was raised an only child. I'm still not down with it. Anybody that attacked me in social media, we don't have to be enemies for life, but we don't have to be anything. Just move on. And it's so bizarre how that energy is so juicy and palatable, and it should be hard as a rock. It should be it should be set in stone. Hey, listen, hey, no harm, no foul. Let's walk away. Not, constant and consistent crap, to try to do harm to a person's life or livelihood. So anyway, my advice would be, if you run into this in social media, just do the SEO on your website and pay for traffic to your website. Do your backlinks and stuff. And with that said, um I am accepting apprentices, okay, like right now. And while, yeah, I'm going through some legal issues, so are a lot of other people are having some kind of legal issue. you know and that doesn't mean that it distracts me from work. I'm not the type of person that has a problem and just go nuts and just be like, oh, I'm getting ready to go postal. I ain't that type of person. In fact, I'm getting ready to go do a reading right now. So I just wanted to talk to you all that are interested, because a lot of y'all that, what's up, one EQL? Hello, sweetie. A lot of you guys that do want to either join up with a coven, or either create a coven, or either start your company, as a spiritualist. A lot of y'all that come here are going to get bullied in the same way. In fact, this is what they do. Listen, there is a group of them for each spiritualist. I have heard horror stories in the tarot card community. I've heard horror stories in the witchy community from people attacking one another. Just I think I suffered the worst, though. I think I had the worst of it. Where there was actual lies being made up. I mean, they were really going through it, which that lets me know, wow, I'm special. Goodness, you gonna go through all that for little old me? I'm special as hell. And God must have something real good planned for me. That's what I've always thought. And having problems, people that try to talk about your problems, having problems is a temporary condition. that always has a solution. There's always a solution to those problems. So, if I could critique myself in the past year, but I was kind of distracted in an abusive situation with a man. Um, you know, but what I would have done is I would have just went ahead and, spent a lot of my energy and my money on just directing traffic towards the website. That way it don't matter what they saying on YouTube. You get enough website hits, that's it. Okay? That's it. So YouTube is kind of like a red tape. It's like a third party. It's like, it can turn into that. Whereas if, people, when they're looking for readings, and people do look for readings specifically, and yeah, there used to be a time when I was really high on the algorithm on YouTube when people would even search on Google for their zodiac sign, you would run into one of my videos. And so, but there are some people that will Google and then your website might pop up, especially if you are doing the proper work with that, and really it's good to hire the professionals to do it for you. Say, hey, I got a website, I need to, and they'll do the work for you. So there's always options. Don't ever let anybody make you feel as though you have no options or that, it's over and da 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 da, especially when you're dealing with, specific situations that you may have that come up in your life that arise. There's always help. There's always time. Hell, even if you got eviction court coming up in a week or two, that's a long time. 2 weeks is a long time to, come up with, either money unless you're getting evicted for something different, which if you're getting evicted for something different, you might as well just move. But, if it's money, but a lot of people tend to either, give up or they just don't have, you know, the drive and okay, yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. I got a phone call. I'm gonna have to go in a minute. So anyway, yes, you can still buy spells. No, I am not cursed. No, I do not have like like I got a kick me sign or shit all over the back of me to where you shouldn't touch me or whatever. I am accepting apprentices. In fact, I would love for you guys to go ahead and come in. Honestly, and being a witch is not just about a love spell. They have a lot of false advertising on YouTube when it comes to that. Let me tell you something. There are so many other things that you need to look at spiritually before you can even find some people before they can even find love within themselves. Okay, so it's a lot more to the craft than just a love spell. That in fact you're not learning about that when you become an apprentice. You're learning about survival. You're receiving support. Okay, which I had a test run a few years ago with a couple of females. One of them I helped get into a house and then she ended up hating on me. And the other one I helped breathe again and then she ended up hating on me. So I don't understand that, but it is what it is, whatever. Okay. The point is that that life goes on. If somebody calls you a bitch or says, hey, I don't want to mess with you anymore. You suck. You suck. Hey. Life has to go on. Your life can't stop just because somebody has a problem with you. And, that's just like when I come on here and I am addressing certain things, which, it's all in fun. It ain't that big of a deal. It's not like I'm going to kill you. And no, you got to tell a person like that to get a life, you know. But, when, I come on here and discuss that. If you notice, I always put up my spiritual videos too, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about getting the good spiritual information to you, and it's about connecting. Okay. Now, in social media, like I said, that can be difficult because you got people that want to mess up your communication. Okay. They want to speak for you. They want to try to tell people who you are. Um, and it is something to where, and the way I want to do it, because until these gang stalkers are locked up, because they will be locked up eventually, the gang stalkers. But until then, because once the actual influencers and the vloggers, go where they need to go, then the other people will go. Okay. It's kind of like killing the head vampire. It's like the rest of them go. But what I want to do with my apprentices that are interested in learning the tarot, learning the various divination techniques, and all of that stuff that you'll get taught in whatever you're interested in. You can be out here on YouTube, receiving support from me and guidance, and nobody even has to know that you're associated with me. Okay. you know Even though there's ones of you that are just like, Jamila, I don't care, screw them people, they, da 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 da, and I feel you on that, and I appreciate that. But until things are safe, because there's a great evil that needs to be dealt with, it is. And so until things are safe, I don't want people, you can start your own company, and you don't have to get an LLC if you're a witch. That's not necessary. An LLC is different. That's a totally different thing. So I mean, really, to be honest with you, our services wouldn't even, it would make no sense to get an LLC per se unless you had a store, maybe there where people could come in and slip and fall. But, a lot of times when it comes to insurance, that's what you're doing the LLC for, is to have the insurance. But a lot of insurance doesn't even cover. A lot of these insurance companies, they don't cover that unless you say that you're a Reiki specialist, and I think that Reiki falls underneath that category. So when you're out here as a witch, you're out here on your own, and you're supposed to be, even though you may have buddies, you may have people, you may have a coven, you're still out there on your own, and your coven doesn't necessarily have to be connected you know to you. So in social media, because I know that was how I was isolated. And yes, it was a personal thing. It's all smoke and mirrors. It was a personal thing. Honestly, it was people that knew me personally years ago. That's all it is. It's a personal thing. It has nothing to do with my judgment from God or anything like that. It has to do with personal stuff that people need to learn how to handle, um, in private. But instead they rather, do things like isolate you. Then some of them are jealous. Oh, I don't want to see you go far. I don't want to see you do this. I don't want to. Well, then don't see, then go blind, then. Damn, what the hell? Honestly, I don't want to see, I don't want to see you talking to nobody and folk talk. And man, that's weird. And we all know where that comes from, bro. So, and it's not power. It isn't. Okay, people feel very powerful for some reason when they stalking somebody, and I hate to break it to you, there's no power in it. Even though you can put people in precarious positions, but you got to think. I right now, I would never, ever, ever want to be the cause of somebody having any kind of destruction in their life. Especially when that person is not, if you a person that's done something to me, I don't really have anything to say about it. But especially if you somebody that ain't never done nothing to me, I don't not sitting up here wishing bad for you. Especially if I ain't talked to you in 5 or 6, 7 years. It's like, I have no affirmations. I'd rather save my breath for myself. So I think, so social media can be a good place for witches. And I think it's great to, like, buddy up, do panels and stuff. I love the witchy panels. But you know what? Guess what? You know, the gang stalkers that have literally, like, several sections, not just witches. Gang stalkers are attacking everybody on this website. They are attacking everybody. Do you know that? You could be a family vlogger. You could be a I watched this one channel. This man, he lives off the grid, and he considers himself, him and his wife, to be nomads. And there's people attacking him, calling the sheriff, calling codes on him, city, and so I'm saying that to say that it's not just witches, it's everybody. And I feel that everybody in the community, everybody, witches, beauticians, nomads, all of us need to come together and stand and fight against this gang stalking. And a lot of people do feel that it's government funded because, a lot of those people probably are, receiving some kind of government stipend, which is why they got the time and they got the energy. But Jamila don't have the time and the energy. I don't get nothing from the government. Nothing. So when my bills are due, they just do. Okay. And a lot of y'all's, it's the same way with y'all too. So we need to stick together and ban against the gang stalkers. Don't go along with them. Those people are going to one day have to stand before a judge and explain why they've been doing what they're doing. Because I do believe that everybody is going to rise against them, and they are creating new laws in gang stalking. Which is why, like, for example, I wanted to be heard. Okay, everybody has the right to be heard. When you are dealing with somebody that is on a live public platform with more than one person, and they are participating in the gang stalking, the original sin, the original gang stalking, participating in it, and trying to create the same story and the same scenario, and that's gang stalking. But if you do a panel and you discuss it, it's not the same when you're defending yourself. Okay. um but I did take down that video because I don't want to ever be seen as somebody that's bullying and ganging up on somebody. I just, personal, intimate relationships should not be handled that way. That should never happen. So I got to tell you, gang stalkers, they are on borrowed time. They are. Okay. So, and I do wish to see YouTube and the spiritual community to be a better place. And, instead of, it'd be different if you were going back and forth with somebody. But if somebody's blatantly lying on somebody, you already know that justice is going to prevail. So, anyway, I got to go. But, I'm saying all this to say that don't allow the gang stalkers and the chaos and the evil stop you. Because I can tell you straight up and down, they keep going around saying that I'm being evicted or I'm having some issues. Okay, fine. Listen, you know, those things were not created by a curse, not at all, even though words can be a curse. But if it's a lie, lies are very flaky. Lies don't stick. They don't. They don't stick. Okay. Bad people, they would love to think, because just because you're a witch or a tarot card reader or a mystic doesn't mean that you're just an inherently bad person. Inherently bad people are going to try to ruin you, and they don't exactly have the power to do that. And I've proven that because I've been through the same smear campaigns with the same gang stalkers for the past decade. Then 10 years of gang stalking. Now, that's personal. Okay. And it's really sad, especially the Black community needs to stand up. You shouldn't allow that to become normalized for you, what you can see, happening, um, in that Black sector. If you know what I'm talking about, if you know what the Black sector is, some of y'all don't. Some of y'all like, what was the Black sector? It's a place of bigotry and hate is pretty much what it is. Lies, deception, bigotry, hate, sabotage, satire is what they call it. You can't do nothing but call it what it is. Now, how you respond to that is another thing. Now, for example, like I told you guys, because they kind of make it seem like you don't deserve to get clients. Well, how am I going to get clients to even pay my bills and if I can't run my business? If and that's their point. They want to shut down your business. They do. And it doesn't matter what you're doing on here. You could be selling jewelry and they'll want to shut you down. Okay. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. Maybe we can talk about this a little bit later. I'm gonna get on TikTok in a little bit, but I gotta read and to get to, so I will talk to y'all later. So yeah, I'm not like the cursed and damned and oh my God, my body is breaking out with stigmatas and the devil's getting ready to drag me to hell. No, that's not what's going on. Okay, so I'm still running a business regardless if my pseudo ex went on vacation, regardless if some crazy person is out in social media telling lies about me and has nothing else better to do, or if somebody's making a video about me, I'm still running a business, period. And it drives me nuts as a Virgo moon to even have to feel like I have to explain or make things clear for people. And I'm going to tell you that sometimes I've noticed in social media, and that's why they use things that are very emotional that will connect with your emotions. Because a lot of the people that follow me, yeah, they've had sexual abuse, they've had physical abuse, they've been through things. Okay. I love y'all too. You know what I'm saying? But I got to move past this social media thing. My company is not going anywhere, no matter, even if I get put out of this house, which that ain't gonna happen, knock on wood. I'm gonna leave here the way I want to leave here. Okay. And it ain't gonna be a body bag in a body bag or getting locked up. I'm gonna leave here prosperous, abundant on my way to my home that I'm buying. It doesn't matter. However, I leave here, my company is still going to exist. It's not going to go away, says God. And I'll never allow a human man or woman to walk around and convince me that they God. So, yeah, Anyway, I will see y'all in a little bit. Just a little bit about the apprenticeship program, and I will go live from the Witch's Broom channel and talk to you guys about all of the benefits of becoming an apprentice, which is different than a student, and it's different from a client turned into a friend, actually, because there's a lot to do with that, and it's not that you have to work for me or anything like that. It's just that you get a support system, and what I've been doing has been working for years. uh and it just works. Okay. All right, guys, I will see y'all later. Blessings. Go subscribe to, it's called the Witch's Broom channel, and I'll see y'all in a little bit. I gotta go. Okay. All right. Bless. Bye bye.